As the number of heartbreaking and devastating gun-related incidents rises, it is important to look at the root reasons and possible solutions. This violence is increasing rapidly in the US. We'll look at the scary numbers, talk about the many things that are causing this epidemic, and have serious conversations about gun control, mental health, and social influences. Join us to learn more about this urgent problem and find ways to make society better and more caring. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to our station and press the bell icon to get regular updates. So, let's start. Gun violence and mass shootings have become big problems in the United States. They have drawn the attention of the whole country and sparked heated arguments about gun control, mental health, and how society affects people. Over the years, the number and size of these terrible events have slowly gone up, leaving a wake of destruction, loss, and fear. This piece looks at the reasons for the alarming rise in gun violence and mass shootings in the US, as well as some possible solutions. How often are guns used to hurt people? Gun violence is a problem with many different sides, such as murder, suicide, accidental killings, and mass shootings. In wealthy countries, the US has one of the highest rates of gun deaths. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, say that there were about 39,707 gun-related deaths in 2019, with more than half of those being suicides. The rest of the deaths were caused by murder, accidents, and killings in groups. Getting better in particular, there has been a worrisome rise in mass shootings. The Gun Violence Archive says that a mass shooting occurs when 4 or more people besides the shooter are shot or killed at the same time. In the past 10 years, there have been a lot more mass killings, which have made people more worried and angry. Shootings like the one in Las Vegas in 2017 and the one at Parkland High School in 2018 have left permanent marks on the nation's collective mind. There is no single reason for the rise in gun violence and mass shootings. Instead, it is the result of the complex interaction of many different causes. One of the main reasons why there is so much gun crime in the US is that guns are so easy to get. The right to bear arms is protected by the Second Amendment of the US Constitution, and the country has a strong gun culture. Because gun laws aren't as strict in some places and there are holes in the background check system, it's easy for people with bad intentions to get guns. Mass killings often involve people with mental health problems. People who do these things may have a mental illness or be in a lot of emotional pain, and giving them access to guns is a big risk. But it's important to stress that most people with mental health problems are not violent and are more likely to be victims of violence than to be violent themselves. Socioeconomic differences and injustice can make certain parts of the population feel frustrated, hopeless, and angry. Some people with a lot of anger may act out in violent ways, like in mass killings. Taking care of these social and economic problems can help make these kinds of things less likely to happen. When the news reports on mass killings, especially in a way that is meant to be shocking, it may unintentionally make the problem worse. When the media pays a lot of attention to attackers and what they are trying to do, it could lead to more shootings or give the people who did it a chance to become famous. Media coverage is important for sharing information with the public, but copycat crimes can be prevented by following responsible reporting rules that focus on the victims, survivors, and community reactions instead of praising the perpetrators. The rise of gun crime and mass shootings has big effects on society as a whole, not just on the people who are directly affected. Communities all over the country feel a lot of fear and worry because of mass shootings. People are more stressed out and have more mental health problems because they are afraid of becoming victims of this kind of violence. Children and students who go to school are especially sensitive to this fear, which can affect their mental health and how well they do in school. People who live through mass shootings and the families of the victims often feel trauma and sadness that lasts for a long time. The mental toll on these people is very high, and it can be hard for them to get better. Many people need a lot of physical and mental rehabilitation, which can be hard on the wallet. Trust in public places like schools, shopping malls, and places of prayer have also been hurt by the number of mass shootings. People may start staying away from certain places or events out of fear of violence. This loss of trust can have big effects on how a group works and how people interact with each other. To stop the rise of gun crime and mass shootings, we need to look at the problem from many different angles. People who want stricter gun laws want full background checks for everyone who buys a gun, for loopholes in current laws to be closed, and for people with a history of violence or mental illness to not be able to carry guns. Mass shootings may happen less often if attackers don't have as many guns to use. Improving mental health care and education is a key part of stopping violence. Violence can be less likely if people have easier access to mental health services, get help early, and don't feel bad about asking for it. Investing in mental health resources and education is important to make sure that people get the care they need before they hit a crisis point. Researching the reasons and effects of gun violence is important for making policies that are based on facts. But problems with money and politics have made it hard to do a thorough study in this area. Promoting unbiased research can help make policy choices and find effective ways to stop things from happening. Studying the effects of past gun control laws and looking at data on gun ownership can teach us a lot about how to stop gun crime. People have a tendency to read too much about criminals' manifestos and intentions, and the media has a role to play in preventing this and preventing criminals from being glamorized. People may be dissuaded from committing the act in the future if reporting guidelines are established that put more of an emphasis on the victims, those who survived, and the way the community responded, rather than giving too much attention to the individuals who committed the act. The practice of responsible journalism has the potential to significantly alter the way in which people think about gun crime and initiate more fruitful debates about it. The alarming trend of increased gun violence and mass shootings in the US is a very concerning topic that needs to be investigated and addressed as soon as possible. Legislators, people who are knowledgeable in mental health, members of communities, and members of the media all need to collaborate in order to find a solution to this challenging situation. It is critical to strike a balance between upholding individuals' constitutional rights and instituting measures of reasonable gun control in order to ensure the safety of the general population. We can make significant progress in reducing gun violence and making society a safer place for everyone if we pay attention to the factors that contribute to it and enact effective legislation. It will take patience, understanding, and a strong desire to make changes that will better the lives of future generations in order to construct a society in which there is less gun crime. That's it for today. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and share our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates.